after leaving the firm, where did you go?
So after leaving the firm, I go to another law firm, more
Okay.
boutique law firm. Guys, it healed me because
Really?
prior to leaving, I had gotten to such a state where I was asking myself, and I know there's a lot of law professionals that have also experienced this through talking to them, where I was like, maybe I'm the problem. Maybe I'm not good enough. I started doubting myself. I'm like, wait, was I meant to study law? Khodani, you are a great writer. Maybe you actually needed to be a full-time script writer.
In five, four, three, two, one, we are live. Sana, we are live.
Whoop whoop.
We're continuing with the world of academia. This is where we chat with people who are academics, who are lecturers at various higher learning institutions. And in today's episode, we've got Khodani Singwan.
I like that. Khodani. Yes.
Because in one of back when we met in varsity, we were walking from church.
I still also remember
You
this.
still remember this?
Yeah.
And I remember introducing myself as Manda. And you were like, what is that?
Who is that?
Who is that? So yeah, I'm strong with my D's now. It's Khodani, it's Manda. And yeah, I've ever since now, every time I introduce myself,
I love that for you.
even when it's with someone I know, for them it doesn't matter. I will
And
make
they'll
sure.
probably butcher it. They'll probably say
they'll
Mando.
probably.
Yeah.
I will say it in the correct vendor way. But ma'am, how are you?
I am very well. Thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah.
Please definitely I talk a lot, so you will need to say
I always say to guests, I love the more you talk, the less of a job I have to do.
oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. Um, you here because you have the most colorful career. Like, yes, you ended up in academia, but you were still are very colorful, and I can't wait to hear your entire journey. Let's take it back to young Khodani. Yes. I'm introducing this thing where I ask guests, what does your name mean? And do you know why your parents gave you that name?
Wow, that's so powerful. I definitely know what my name means. I actually don't remember the why. My mom is the one that named me Khodani. It means praise. And one thing I can say, it really it symbolizes who I am. I am somebody who praises. I mean, obviously it was praise the Lord, but
Yeah.
yes, I embody that in all other aspects of my life. Yeah.
And where you from? Where did you grow up?
Okay, so I was born. We say it's Venda, but now in our hood life, there's no place on the map
Called
called
Venda.
Venda. But to us, it's Venda, and it makes sense. So I'll leave it
Yes.
at that because this is not the platform to. But I was actually born in Venda, but moved to Pretoria when I was I 2 when I was 2,
Sure.
2 or 4, can't remember now, but young enough. And then I grew up in Pretoria. Yeah.
And in the home, who's in this house that you are growing up in?
Okay. So, I mean, I'm born in Venda with my parents, both my parents, my mom and dad, and 2 older brothers. Later on, I get a little sister, but now we are still just, two older brothers and my parents. My dad transfers to Pretoria, so he's now working in Pretoria. So they decide that my dad will go with me to Pretoria. So now I'm in Pretoria with my dad. And it's
Wow.
the two of us. Geez, sure, the stories that now in my adulthood, I'm
And
like,
you're so
that was,
young,
I'm so young.
and they leave you in the care of a man.
Not only that, can I tell you that my dad, when we initially moved, we were staying in I remember flats around Arcadia. I mean, now it's different. It's not what it was back then. This is like
Yeah.
the early 90s. Yes, I'm that old. But yeah, so he would leave me. There was a park, Beggars Park, like we stayed there. So for those that know Pretoria, that area,
Yeah.
he would leave me and he would go to work. I was probably what, 4? And I would go play at the park. I would play in the, yeah, no,
Wow.
wow. It was safe
It was safe, I
then.
guess.
But sure, when I
Yeah.
think about it now, I'm
Like
like,
you'd never do it with
"Jeez,
your
yeah,
own
no,
kids."
no, no, not do it." So yeah, I stayed with my dad until, I mean, they built the house that they have now in Pretoria West, and my mom then joins us full time around 2001. So yeah.
Does she come with your older brothers?
So that's the thing. In my memory, my brothers are not
I'm
there.
not. You're an
But
only
I
child.
do know that some way, somehow, they do come join us. So I don't know whether it's now, it's just months after I've moved with my dad, because I mean, they are in school. I was in preschool, so it was easy to move with me. So I don't really know the time frames, but they come before my mom.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
When we moved into our house in Denville, I think we moved maybe 2 years after that. They were there. They were there.
They were
Yeah.
there. Okay. And how was your childhood? What are your
Jeez,
let's make
that's a
it easy.
loaded
Yes.
question.
Let's make it specific.
Yeah.
What's your earliest memory of your childhood? When you think back, what's that one thing that pops up and say, yeah, it was nice.
It's a memory of having so many toys. I used to be called Mama Tumelo because my doll's name was Tumelo. Everyone, family, friends, Mama Tumelo. And yeah, I had so many toys. Actually, the other day I was spring cleaning and I found a marriage certificate of my time in creche.
Oh.
And the comment is marriage certificate for she loves to play with toys. So clearly. So yeah, those are some of the memories that I have.
And growing up, do you remember what's the first career you ever considered?
Shoo. Yeah, I do, because there's a story to that. So I wanted to be a musician. I think I wanted to be a
Okay.
celebrity. Like I wanted to be on
Yes.
TV, but specifically a musician. And I remember writing songs, and that's when I found out I could actually write, because then I'd write songs,
Okay.
sing it to people like my grandma, and people always commented, wow, these lyrics, this song, where did you get it? No, I wrote it. I'm like, but guys, like my voice, that's why I'm singing to you. Like, no.
Not the words, not the lyrics.
Not the lyrics. Like, why is everyone so obsessed with the lyrics? Like, guys, I'm singing my lungs out. Yeah, no. So I eventually realized, no, you can't sing, so that's not the career. But people are interested in the words. Maybe there's something there. Should I do script
Yes.
writing? Should I eventually did, but
Is
yeah.
it?
Yeah.
At what point?
I was in grade 4, 5. Yeah.
Wow.
Started writing lyrics, then moved to poetry, then moved into stories, short stories, cartoon, and script writing.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow. And in high school, what subjects did you take when it was time to actually start choosing subjects? And at that point, did you know? What was it clear or?
I knew. So after, I mean, I changed a lot before getting to the critical point. The time I was in grade 9, there was like, my life changed forever. I knew that I wanted to study law.
Sure.
So everything that I did aligned to that. So from the moment that I realized, like I dreamt about it, by the way,
Yes, I was about to ask what
yeah.
happened for you to know.
No, I dreamed about it, and in this dream, God was telling me, "You're gonna be a lawyer." Like, it's strange. Like, I can't remember all the details of the dream, but I remember it was a dream, and I just like there was something in the dream, like in my heart, in my spirit, that was excited. It was like
Yeah.
I can't describe it. Even now, it gives me goosebumps, and I think it then explains how I went about this law thing.
Yeah.
So from that moment, then I was researching what subjects do you need to do in high school to be a lawyer.
Yeah.
I had somebody, one of my teachers, I think he had done a law degree, but I don't think he completed it. So he's like, look, for law, it doesn't really matter. You just need languages. But he recommends history. He thinks that if I do history, it will help my articulation and understanding of things. So, yes, so
Okay.
that's then
Okay.
I did do history. I still kept maths. So I was really good at maths. And that was something that became a challenge with people because they didn't understand. But why are you not taking science? You really are great with maths. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, my journey with maths is an interesting one. But like I said, I talk a lot, and so yeah.
Why the University of Pretoria?
That's so strange. The University of Pretoria. I mean, I wanted to say tax of necks, but it's not that.
It's a valid reason.
It is, but it wasn't that because, funny enough, the intention was never Pretoria, University of Pretoria. I personally wanted to go to UCT, but my dad was like, so far, what if something happens? Nah, 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 we're not doing that. And then it was Wits. Oh, guys, I wanted to do it. And I was doing Wits. Accepted, registered, everything. No, I didn't register. And that's why now UP happened. With UP, the thing is, I stay in Pretoria. Like,
Yeah.
UP is like maybe a 20 or 30 minutes drive from my house. So I was like, I don't want to stay at home. I need to leave. The only reason I would go to UP is if I'm accepted at like a resident, like race.
Yes.
So what happened is that UP accepted their residents open first, like their registration, their all week orientation week started first. So I was like, let me just go see, but I'm not gonna go there. Like
Yes.
Vets was like probably starting in Feb, UP
Feb.
started in Jan.
You're right. Yes.
So no, the plan is Vets. I go there. Guys, pers for Erica forever. Like forever.
You were taken by Res.
I was taken. I was gone. Tell me why. Tell me why I even had a purple weave for those that know me personally. Yeah, no. No, I was gone. Yeah.
People don't get it when I hype tax res. Guys, tax res is life. Oh my word.
Like,
yeah. So you stayed at Ace Erika.
yes. Unfortunately, I know you stayed in Yasmin, so there is that.
Unfortunately.
And I'm representing. Yes, I was right. Okay, not unfortunately. I mean, better word.
Yeah.
But
And how
yes.
was your transitioning into varsity and res? I know I think res makes it easy to settle in varsity because you have a community of people and
Yes.
guardians who help you maneuver the thing. But how was your experience of adjusting to, you're now out of high school, you are starting what looks like an adult life?
I actually, it was an interesting transition. Like you were saying correctly, so that there's a community. So the friends that I made, in race till this day
Yeah.
are my ride and dies. So that was an interesting experience. I had to learn, I had to grow because in race you have different characters that you meet. And yeah, so I don't know. It was an interesting transition. Like,
Yeah.
I think because then I became Christian. I intentionally was now attending a church our church then
Yeah.
that grounded me a lot. So yes, now you are free, there's freedom. And at that time at Hatfield there was the square, there was,
Yes.
so it was like, because then I was a bit grounded in my Christian walk, it sort of sheltered me and protected me of what could have been. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And how did you find the LLB program? Because you were, I know you were a smart one.
We're a smart one, girl.
Still is.
Okay, I'm not this prideful, guys. I don't want to say I'm humble because then that doesn't sound right.
We don't like fake humility, right? People are allowed to celebrate themselves and be open about it. So
No,
please.
no. Like I said, like when I found out that I wanted to study law, like my journey then was crazy in that already in high school I was shadowing prosecutors, shadowing anyone who would accept. I would go on Facebook, I'd go on LinkedIn. Well,
Wow.
no, there wasn't LinkedIn then, it was definitely Facebook. Was there LinkedIn? I can't remember, but I
Yeah.
would direct message people. I would Google. Oh yes, we had yellow pages. I'd go through yellow pages and I'll look at the advocates, the lawyers. I'd call people and say, look, I'm interested in this. So how to answer your question, how was the LLB program for me? It was fantastic because I'm
Yeah.
living my dream. I know this is what I needed to study and I'm enjoying it and I'm already feeling like a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer yet, but that's how I'm
But
feeling. And it really was an enjoyable journey. I enjoyed.
yeah.
Hence, I'm back in academia. Like it was the time of my life. I was a tutor. I did it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else did you do on campus?
Okay. On campus, jeez, it now sounds like such a long time ago, but I know I was a tutor. At the time, they had junior Turkey offices where you could work hours and get money. So I
Okay.
did that. There's a student disciplinary advisory panel. I was
Oh,
part of
staff. I
that.
was also part of staff.
SDAP.
Yes.
Oh, yay. So yeah, I did that. I did I did some few little minor things, but the main thing was the tutoring, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And when you were in your 4 years, did you have an idea of what next? Well, you did research from from high school, but when you came into the program, did you know what you want to do next? Advocacy, articles, academia. What what did the future look like in varsity?
So it's strange. When I came, I knew what I didn't want to do in law because of the job shadowing. So I as I mentioned, I shadowed a prosecutor, and I remember being in court and feeling sorry for the criminal as well. Like,
Really?
yeah, like when this magistrate says you're sentenced to 10 years, this is like your
Yeah.
life. Like, so I knew, and I'm an empath, so I knew, no, miss me there. Then when I was in the law program, the idea was I'd start as an attorney and later on be an advocate. The initial dream was to be an advocate. But I
Okay.
don't know why. I was like, at 35, I'm going to be an advocate. I always had this, every year of my life, I had some goals. So
Yeah.
the initial plan was advocacy. But now when I'm at the University of Pretoria, there's a big drive for going to do your articles
Articles.
and at the big five,
Yeah.
at the time. If now we are trying as to balance things, to say
Is
there is
it
more careers outside
outside of
doing serving your
articles?
articles at the big five.
That's important, yeah.
So yeah, then became my goal because already in first year I was doing VAC work. I was there. Like eager beaver. Like
Yeah.
I would be there with final years and third years that are trying to sign up, and I'm already there in first year. Like, yeah, I want to be signed in these fine shiny companies. And yeah, so then the goal was I want to be an attorney in
Sure.
varsity. Then that was the immediate goal with a later idea of eventually being an advocate.
An
Yeah.
advocate. And when did you sign for articles? In what year?
Shoo. What year did I sign? I want to say my third year or finally, I can't remember. The thing is, I had a bursary with Anglo American that also sort of You needed to work for them as well. There was like,
Oh,
yeah, I'm
okay.
not sure if in this we have, you probably, I don't know. I don't know if we meant to name and
Yeah.
shame or name and grace.
You are naming and gracing, so we keep it in.
Yeah, so yeah, I had that. So yeah, I can't remember now, but because I then decided to do my master's, I deferred my article. So I didn't start the year that I would have completed my LB. I then started a year later.
Okay, why did you want to do your master's if you already had articles or at least job security?
I think I got the securing of articles later than I intended. So now I started panicking and then I enrolled for masters. Yeah.
Okay, okay. And what was your focus in master's?
My focus, then I knew I love like commercial company, corporate tax law. So I did like a mercantile LLM. So it's more broad. It's like a basket. You can pick and choose what you want to do. So I knew I wanted the commercial space. So
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, okay. And when you completed your LLB, you completed it cum laude, right?
Of course, honey.
Was it the same with your LLM?
No, unfortunately not.
I'm sure
I
you missed
was
it like this.
literally seven. It still haunts me till this day. 74 point. Was it 577? Something ridiculous, and they don't round
What
off.
happened to
They
rounding
don't.
off?
Oh, why did you?
Asking.
Why? I thought I've healed. I haven't healed. Oh.
Sorry. and and then you go do your articles.
I go
You have
serve my
signed.
article. So yes, I did my masters, and when I did my masters, I worked as an academic associate. I think you also
Yes.
did, and that's where I knew that I'm coming back.
You can really.
Yeah, because with us, the department my now department, where at that time, if you're an academic associate, you actually lecture. So they actually give you a
Really?
group.
Okay,
So,
that's
yeah.
that's very interesting because in last week's episode I was with Hopotso and her and I did academic associate in the private law department where we tutor, not
Yeah.
necessarily lecture. So we
Yeah.
will go to lectures with the lecturer, learn whatever we need, take notes, and then prepare for a tutorial. So in the mercantile
In
department, you guys
mercantile law, you lecture. Why you don't lecture law students? So they offer service modules to non-lawyers, so BCom students that need to take like commercial law. So
Okay.
you lecture those students because it's a large group and they really need help. I think now things have changed. AKMs no longer lecture. Unless you're in like an assistant lecturer or something. So yeah, I
Yeah.
lectured, and I remember having a group around like 800 to 1,000 students, and I can't tell you, it changed my life. I knew then
Yeah.
that I'm coming back. But again, we plan, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know why I thought being 35 is old. It's like, nah, we no longer want to be an advocate. Now the new goal for 35 is to be a lecturer. So I
Yes.
knew then. So, but of course, I'd already secured articles and big law firm. I want to be there, find
Yes.
out what's happening there. So yeah, go serve my articles there. That was your question.
Yes. And how was your experience of articles?
Hey. Woo-hoo-hoo. We need a full podcast for that. Yo, hi guys. Yo, guys. I mean, I'm quite aware that I'm a black female. Sure. I hope not to be in my emotions.
Get in.
But tell me why. Only then. I don't know. I'm emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah. It became clear to me that I'm a black female.
Really?
Till this day, I reference a meeting that I was in as a candidate attorney. I don't want to, maybe go into too much details, but in this team, they say we are the blue-eyed team. Till this day, Manda, I'm trying to find out, was that a metaphor? Maybe it meant something. But then I looked and I'm like, yeah, we are the blue-eyed team. Oh! Yeah. So articles was a strange experience for me.
Yeah.
Because remember, I'm coming from varsity where I was a tutor. I was almost like at the top of the game.
Yes.
At the top of the,
Yeah.
academic student leader, if we could say. I was an academic associate. I lectured students. Students called me ma'am.
Yes.
You go to articles, and like I said, like, I'm not saying I'm a smarty pants, but I did
But
well.
you are.
I'd get 100, I'd get 90, I'd get 8. Like, I got
Yeah.
really good grades. So I'm thinking, I've got this law thing. No, honey.
Practice was like, no.
Honey. Yeah. So starting from, I think, the first email I sent, I mean, I learned a lot as well.
Yeah.
I'll always say, from the first email where I say, hey, I'll say Manda, I won't name the person. I'll say, hey, Manda. Woo. Manda responds, says, excuse me. This is professional. We do not say hey. We say hi.
Yes. Oh dear.
Oh dear. No, she was like, we say hi, Manda.
Yes.
Okay, I don't know. Sorry. Sorry. Hi. Dear. Whew. Yeah.
Oh, my
So
word.
stuff like that. And the first team that I rotated into, it was a hectic team. But I'll always say that team taught me so much. Attention to detail
Yeah.
is a thing.
What team? What did they do?
As in, must I say, the team?
Yeah, DR, corporate employment.
Commercial. So that's the thing. Yeah. I didn't do any proper litigation. I was, yeah.
You
It's
escaped
a
the
story.
devil.
Yeah. I worked my way, sneaked my way in. But yeah, it was a commercial team.
Okay.
Yeah. Banking and finance, the team
Yeah,
was. Yeah.
yeah.
So they were very attention to detail. So obviously you write something, you think you nailed it, and then it comes back with a whole lot of red. But that taught me, that I appreciate, that taught me. But, the kind of work that I would be given was not the greatest, but I understand. That was like my first rotation.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then, and of course, I mean, I did banking in my master's, but my
yes.
interest then, I knew already then that I want to be in tax. So tax was,
Okay.
I need to get into tax. And my second rotation, so that's
Was
what I was
tax.
saying, that I found a way, because they had then the rule that you have to do a commercial rotation, a dispute resolution, and a corporate. So I'd already been in a commercial, which I was happy about, because I did want some exposure to banking. So how I did it is that I then started writing like articles in text, anyway, to convince them that, look, this girlie needs to be in text.
Yes.
And yeah, I got that rotation, and yeah, it was an interesting rotation.
Was it what you thought tax was?
I don't know how to answer that, because I didn't get much exposure in the text that later on, when I practice in text, I'm like, this is it.
Okay.
But I got some, yeah, I like this. This could be. It is what I think it could be. But yeah, I didn't get, and I understand. I was a candidate attorney.
Yeah. And your last rotation was?
Corporate.
And how was corporate?
I actually loved corporate.
Yeah.
The team that I was in was exciting. It was interesting. But again, there was those other issues that I was part of, or that, or affected my articles, the whole realization of being Black, what that means. I mean, I'm still a child from varsity. I'm still learning the corporate environment. And I found for myself that at that time, or at that particular firm, it wasn't kind to me. And I'm a different person now, but then maybe I was, they would always say, and I mean, a lot of my friends, we hate this, show initiative. You are laughing, you must show initiative, you must. But I remember, and I always used to speak about this. Now it's things have moved on, but I remember I hadn't traveled then yet. Back to this, being a particular Black girl. I haven't traveled. The pet that I've had is a dog. I don't even know the breed of my dog.
Yes.
And the meat is to get work or to be likable, you had to know certain countries. Somebody's telling you, I've
Yes.
traveled to
Yes.
Uruguay. You're like, what? You don't even know that that country exists. So they're talking about breeds of dogs. So I felt excluded, or I
Yes.
excluded myself. Probably the environment wasn't conducive. It wasn't open for someone like me. So it was, sorry, it was tricky. It was tricky to
Yeah. Yeah.
navigate.
I like that because exclusion really comes in different shapes and forms, and even in
Yeah.
conversations, in our levels of exposure. That is a way of exclusion, and it still stands to
Yeah.
today, where
Yeah.
you in conversations and you're like, you're talking about what? Okay, no, I have no contribution
I have
to this.
none.
And sometimes you feel the pressure that now I need to travel. Now I need to own a cat and a dog, and then I must know its breed. I must play
Then
sports. I must be a
I
paddle
was too
person
young.
because
I was too young. I was too young. Maybe now, like now later on, you know. But then I was too young, and I was like, yo, yeah, they were paying us good money for then, but
yeah,
leave. Where am I getting the leave to go travel? Do I even know? Yeah. So it was
yeah.
just, yeah, it was not. It was not kind.
And did you stay on afterwards, or did you?
For a bit, they didn't retain me in the team that I wanted. It broke my heart. It broke my heart, especially because they told me there is no space.
So which
Only
team
to
did you
find
want?
that they did retain somebody there, just, of certain, difference to me.
Yes,
I wanted Tex. Of course, I
you want.
wanted
You,
Tex.
so you still wanted to go back.
I Tex. I don't know which Tex bug bit me, but it bit me, and sure, I remember being so heartbroken. I remember at that time I'd registered for my notary exam. I'm studying for my notary exam, and I find out, oh no, it's not happening. I cried through those studies.
Yeah.
It was I then even made moves to say, no, like, let me move this rotation. Let me find somewhere where maybe, I could. Nah, it just it was the beginning of the end.
Yeah.
But, and I always, I don't know how to feel now today, because it's something I'm grateful for.
Yeah.
I look at what happened after I left the firm to the black people that were there, that I'm
You
so
like.
grateful. I always say with my friends, we joke, they're like, you know what, God saved you. But I'm like, at that time, it didn't feel that way. It felt so painful to not be retained in text. Like, it broke my heart. And
Yeah.
I cannot begin to imagine that sometimes you are focused on what's happening here, but you don't see guys, God. Oh, Tata God is
He
everything.
picked you out. Was like,
Yo,
no.
it's like not my baby. And it's like I've got bigger things.
Yes.
And it took me leaving that company. She's Anely.
That's
Maybe I
fair.
should. Maybe I should.
No,
But enough.
don't.
Later on, I made the now in my now life.
Yeah.
Actually, from the moment I left, I kept interacting with this firm, and it will always be interesting, especially sometimes when you are client. It's like, oh, now I met her. Now I'm
I
important.
never met her then.
And now in my academic space, I met with the now senior partner, the new one. And I let her know my experience, because, I was like, no, but let me let you know, because
That's good.
there was a certain narrative that, they were not, I don't want to say pushing as though it's not accurate. It probably is accurate. But I had to say, I'm so happy to hear that, because when I was there and the people that, were there with me, we
Yeah.
didn't have that experience. And I'm really happy if you guys have improved, and that, black professionals can be there, because we some of us go there because it's one of the big fives. You want the money and you want the
Yes.
prestige.
Yes.
And I'm always grateful that if I had to redo it, 100% I'll be there.
Yeah.
Having that company on my CV has, helped.
It has so much weight.
Yeah, it does. It does. So I will never, that's why I say it's a challenging thing. I acknowledge the bad that I experienced, but I also appreciate the good that it has done for me.
Yeah. And after leaving the firm, where did you go?
So after leaving the firm, I go to another law firm, more
Okay.
boutique law firm. Guys, it healed me because
Really?
prior to leaving, I had gotten to such a state where I was asking myself, and I know there's a lot of law professionals that have also experienced this through talking to them, where I was like, maybe I'm the problem. Maybe I'm not good enough. I started doubting myself. I'm like, wait, was I meant to study law? Khodani, you are a great writer. Maybe you actually needed to be a full-time script writer, because I did say, like, there was a soapy that took some of my scripts away in high school. So I'm like, maybe let's revisit that. So I was starting to play around. Maybe I should go do drama. Maybe I should be, on TV or something,
Yeah.
revisiting that childhood dream. Not
Yeah.
as a musician, but,
But now
in
as
a
a script,
different.
yeah.
Yeah, they dealt with me from very confident, very, I know this, to literally
Shrunk.
shrunk. And it's so funny. Like, the building is like glass. The fifth floor, whenever you take the lift, would always say the people on those offices,
Yeah.
all the black people were just checked out. You could see that they were dealt with. Like, they can't even apply, because that's the other thing. You are scared that you feel like you are underqualified. Like, oh no, they're gonna see the fraud that I am. I'm not gonna know.
Yes.
This is the only place and I mean, I'm earning the money. I might as well stay. No, they
Stay.
dealt with me. They dealt with me.
Sure.
So when I moved to that other firm, they healed me. They put me on matters. I was client facing alone.
Wow.
They plus sign me up. It was just unfortunate that they didn't have a text team, and
Okay.
therefore that text back kept
Still,
nibbling.
it's like, hey.
I was in company law, which I also loved, and I mean, from varsity excelled in, but the text back, I had an unfinished story with text.
Yeah.
So
And
obviously
you pursued it.
I had
You were
to.
like, I need something else.
I need, and the issue is that this time now it found me. I knew. So when I was at that company, I was like, yeah, no, they're great, everything. But it's not like the big law firm in that now I have to print for myself. I have to collate papers for myself. I have to. Nah, man, nah.
The soft life is
no,
gone.
The soft life is gone. The soft life, because hey, that soft life came with a price.
Yeah.
But then I knew that text. So the plan was, I will start searching, but something weird happened. And
Yeah.
I was still at the big 5 law firm. Then, because I knew text was not retaining me, I started like putting my CV in all these text things. And also, guys, I'm ambitious. I would see it says deputy director, and I'm just from a candidate attorney. Throw in. That has been my life since then. Like, I know there are friends that like, wow, girl, you aim high.
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not?
Aim for the stars, and what? You fall on what? The moon or something? I don't know. Aim for the moon, you fall on the stars. So, yeah, so I think I'd put my CV in a lot of places regarding text, and then I forgot about it.
Yeah.
Then when I accepted the offer of that company, now I'm in that company, months have passed, I'm in this company. How? Deloitte calls me. They're like, girl, there's this position, senior tax advisor in an international tax team.
Sign me up.
Sign me up. Like, at that time, I didn't actually know what international tax is.
Yeah.
God works in mysterious ways, because how is international
so
tax
brave.
me now?
Yes.
But yeah, so I'm like, oh, okay, what? Let an interview. Okay, sign me up. And yeah, the rest is what they say.
And did you enjoy your experience at Deloitte as a tax advisor?
Guys.
Did you get the tax you
yo,
wanted?
I got the text I needed, because this wasn't the text that I thought I wanted. Because, like I said, I didn't know what international tax is. I was familiar with corporate tax. I was familiar with tax disputes. So what's this international? Will I be now traveling? What's happening? But yeah, so that law firm, Malan calls, after the big law firm that we shall not name for now. When I left that space and I went to Milan schools, it healed me, and it made me realize again that no, man, the law, God was not wrong. This is my
Yes.
environment. This is where I needed to be. And
That's
I enjoy
beautiful.
clients. I enjoy interacting. It's just the text that's missing. Then Deloitte was it.
Yeah.
In that the people now, because people matter. Who you work with makes it was the perfect work environment. Till this day, the people that I met at Deloitte are my friends. Even my bosses then. I mean, I still even worked with them. Like when they realized, oh, you're in academia, let's do an independent contractor thing where you still consult with clients. And like, guys,
Sure.
Deloitte was it. Deloitte, I was seen. I was seen. And I was trusted, and I was valued, and it
Yeah.
was I was the gaily man. Like no, Deloitte was it. I think I even got promoted within like 3 months of joining. I can't remember. It was like such a short period.
Yeah.
Like it was amazing
Yeah.
until it wasn't. Of
Is
course,
it the winds change
the
direction?
winds change.
And so when you left, how did
When I left
the
away, because I
when
do leave.
when you left Deloitte,
Okay, when I left.
did you go straight into academia or did you go somewhere else?
No, I don't know if this is the story to share here in this platform.
Okay, okay. Yeah. So when did I remember the
So when I left, I went to another audit firm.
Okay.
While I was in Deloitte, I started lecturing part time. Mistake,
Okay.
good mistake, best mistake of my life.
Yeah.
I started lecturing part time. It was COVID because somebody needed something urgently. There was a module that was going to be at risk. Would I be, a friend contact me, hey friend, send your CV, could you do this? I'm like, fam, now I work full time, what do you mean? But at that time I'm working from home. She's like, no, it's going to be virtually. It's COVID during that
Yeah.
season, lockdown. So I'm like, will you pay me? They said
Yeah.
yes. And I didn't know that this is the open gate. Because, like
Yeah.
I said, for me, academia, yes, 100%. I knew I would be in academia. But when I'm old, 35,
35.
can't. So, 2021, I start part time lecturing while doing my full gig as a tax advisor. Changed my life. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, and I had a baby, my first baby, then as
Yeah.
well. So things started making sense that
Yeah.
Khodani academia is not what you thought it was. It's not a end of the goal thing. You can do it now. This is your
Yes.
passion, because I didn't share this with my memories. I actually, all the signs that I would be a lecturer were always there. When I was growing up in creche already, grade one, I would come back home. We had maize. I'm Venda, so we have all the fruits, veggies. So we had maize. Mabele, guys. Let's not oppress ourselves with these languages. And then the maize crop, based on the wind, it would move. So I would treat that maize crop as my students, and I would teach that maize crop. I would just get excited. And when my
Yeah.
cousins came over to visit at home, I would also say, let's play school. And of course, who's the teacher?
Who's you?
So I think the signs were there with the tutoring, how I enjoyed it, how I invested in it.
Yes.
So when I did this part-time thing in 2001, I was like, it's gonna end. Hi,
And was it
man.
in person or were
It
we still
was
deep in COVID?
virtual. It was deep in
Okay.
COVID, but I enjoyed it because sometimes you could have live classes just virtually, and I loved it.
Okay.
I loved it, and I started realizing, oh no, academia is not all about lecturing. Lecturing maybe is, especially for a research institution. Lecturing is about maybe let's say 30% of the job. There's so much more. There's research, there's conferences, there's so much to academia. And I
Yeah.
fell in love. It made sense. And the time, the flexible time as a new mom that
Yeah.
had worked crazy hours. I mean, when I was in the big, big law firm, 5 a.m. could come and I'm still at the office. Saturday, office, because
Yeah.
billable hours,
Yeah.
And then when I went to the other law firm, they had like a bonus incentive. The more the hours, the more. And the nice thing about them, unlike the law firm, the work was there. So you could
Yeah.
meet, you didn't have to work crazy, you just had to work smart. So I wouldn't knock off too late. Like 8 o'clock p.m., I'd knock off. I know. I
I'm sure
know.
people are like, what does she mean? That's not late.
On a worst day, I think there could be times where I'd knock off at 5. But I think the big law firm, which I appreciate this day, taught me to be a bit of a workaholic,
Yeah.
which then it just continued. Even now, like people are like, it's academia, you should be relaxed. Nah, baby. I'm there at 3 a.m.
Pushing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so how did you transition into full-time academia? Did that part-time gig, well, it was a window into what life would look like, but did you use that as, guys, put me up for full-time or something?
Yeah, so what happened is during the part-time gig, my husband told me about this initiative called NGAP, that government is actually trying to get professionals to academia. They realize that in academia, there aren't a lot of black lecturers in certain institutions, maybe, I don't know. And now there's this end gap thing, because I was like, yo, in academia you have to have a PhD, you have to have this, you have to have that. Like,
Yeah.
it's not gonna happen now, and that's why I put it for later
Later.
on. But this program was gonna make it happen. So I told him about it when I saw an ad, and he's like, no, man, that's what I was telling you about. Go in. And I
Yeah.
applied for that. And then, the my employers at the time for the part-time thing also liked me. I think they saw my worth.
Yeah.
And so they then, were like, oh no, man, encourage you to apply. And yeah,
Yeah.
again, this ad break where I'm like, I won't go into, because the
Yeah.
drama, so I
No.
don't want to. Yeah.
I understand. So, was the part-time gig with the institution you're with now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Are you comfortable with?
Yes.
Okay, we are
University of
tax.
Victoria.
Cool.
Yes. Tax. I'm happy. I love that, baby. Tax.
Yeah. So, as a professional, someone with experience going into now full-time academia, at what level do you get in?
Okay. So that was an interesting thing, because for me, initially when I was in the big law firm, the goal was to get to partner, of course. But now goals change, because I'm like, yeah, to get into partner, I must sell my soul. It's okay. I love the title, but let's, reinvent. Then I
Yeah.
went into audit firms, and it seemed that going up is not a problem. And, that was fine. But now, I don't know if I should backtrack the story a bit. I'm sorry. I'm incoherent. When I got the job to go to Deloitte, I actually had another offer. I didn't mention. I had another offer in a company. I would just say an insurance company. I won't name.
Sure.
And that offer, yeah. Hey, it was good, man.
Really?
Yo, I think it was. I want to say 200,000 more than the offer, yeah, Deloitte.
Wow.
And I remember, my friends had to help me make this decision. My family,
Yes.
of course, my family was, take the
Take the
money.
money.
And I remember, I'm like, guys, I haven't, because I'd be doing insurance law, which I
You
have
don't
no
have
care. No, I had, so I think I did mention that when I then didn't get tax, I was in corporate. I asked to move to insurance, because I was like, look,
Okay.
they looking, and maybe then I could, then I was there, and I was like, it's not for me. But now, because of that, then I had a bit of an
A little bit,
experience.
yeah.
That offer. But that was the beginning of what God had in store for me, where I had to choose between money and my passion, which was tax. Look, Deloitte's offer wasn't horrible,
Yeah.
but it was definitely not what that company was
Was
offering.
offering. Yeah.
So then already it was a long, I think I had about a month. And even when I was at Deloitte, it happened again, this UP thing where I was like, look, Deloitte wants me to start in Jan. That one wants me to start in Feb. So let me just accept both. I'm sorry, I did that. I accepted both. And while I'm in Deloitte, I'll see what the vibe is. And I'll drop them. I'll resign because you can resign within a week, give a week notice. Then
Yes.
come Feb, I'll go to this company. It's 29 Jan, it's 30 Jan, it's 31st Jan. I'm not leaving Deloitte because, yeah, so I decided to choose my passion. So, coming back to your answer about academia. So, when I went to academia, I'm from a life where you earn bonuses. And corporate life, let's not lie, guys. The chang-ching is chang-chinging.
Yes.
You work hard for that chang-ching, but it's there. In academia, I'm away. Utiala. No. You are here for passion yet again. So because I've never been into academia, I don't know what ranks or whatever you need to come
Yes.
in at. I'm hearing a friend saying you can be a senior lecturer because you've done practice, you've done this. But in my institution, especially in my faculty, in other faculties within the institution, yeah, sure, you can come in as senior lecturer. So in my institution, you can come in either as an assistant lecturer or as a lecturer. I came as a lecturer.
Okay.
But for me, I didn't care. Till this day, I don't care about titles. Titles, after leaving formal law firm, they mean nothing. Tell me here and tell me passion.
Yeah.
So what I just did for myself was to say, look, I know going forward, the increases and bonuses might not be like corporate, but plus to get me there, at least make it make sense when I get
Yes.
there. So at least that's what I did.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm happy with that.
And you are lecturing tax.
Yes. I'm lecturing tax.
And how's your experience with students?
I
Do you get nervous?
No, nervous.
Really?
No. When you do something that you love, it loves you back. And that's why
Sure.
when I reflect to who I am now versus who I was when I was doing articles, it's not that I wasn't showing initiative. It's not that maybe, I don't want to say it's not what I loved. Maybe the environment wasn't as conducive. I'm excited. I mean, my students can comment in your comment box.
Please, even when you go on lectures, you can say, guys, today's lesson.
I'll advise. I'm like, okay, I don't know if I could do that. I can do that. I'll first have to look at the policies. But
Yeah.
I love this. It gives me excitement. And I remember being in my lectures, and when I was a student,
Yeah.
you look at different lectures. There's some lectures I banked. Sorry,
You're just
mama,
like,
I banked the lectures because I'm like, if you're gonna read to me, guys, I can read. My English might not be great, but I can read. It's how you lecture. So I wanted to be the lecturer that I would have loved, but more than that, I do research. I'm like, I'm not only going to lecture to someone like me who appreciates certain things. I look at what kind of students are they: visual learners, auditory learners, learners that need movements. And I know
Okay.
now, TikTok, you don't want to be listening for too long, attention span. So how can I engage? How can I bring practice? Because also I was in practice. I still do consult with clients. I still do this and that. How do I bring it to my lectures? So yeah.
And are you doing your LLD?
No, but I'm doing my PhD. So before you what? So I'm not doing my LLD. I'm actually not in the law faculty. I'm doing it at African Tax Institute, and I'm doing a PhD in tax policy.
Oh, wow. And I guess academia, I wanted you to ask, what would you choose between practice or corporate and academia? But the answer is academia.
Actually, it's an interesting answer. It's not that clear cut. One thing I know, I will never, ever.
You'll never do law.
I'm a lawyer.
You won't practice
I'm
the
a
law.
lawyer. No, the thing is, I do, and the it's now too far because I do consult, and I did tell you about the independent contract thing, and the idea is to now probably consider having a full blown law firm. And seeing how, obviously with my contract with
Okay.
academia, that so academia will always be there. That now I know. It's just a
Yeah.
matter of, is it there now full time or part time? Because I do also still enjoy consulting. And I've actually now recently learned about myself that I have new goals now, new dreams, I'm evolving.
Yeah.
I mean, the judiciary seems interesting. I was telling my friend, but I was like, ish, but if I have to deal with criminal cases, I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know how we go around that. But I have new goals, new dreams, and I'm doing a tax policy PhD. So even that policy, so joining organizations where policy is the element that we're looking into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
But academia, always there.
Always.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes me happy. Like the
You
way
are
you're
so
so happy with this podcast, like I can't explain it. I'm not working. I'm living.
Yeah. Oh my
I'm not
gosh.
working. I stopped working in 2022, 2021.
Yeah.
Since then I've been living.
That's so amazing.
Yeah.
May we all
On
get to a point.
Sundays, I mean, when I used to work for like law firms and stuff, Sunday there's this chest pains, this anxiety that Monday I'm going to that. Now I don't know whether it's Monday, it's Friday. Man. I'm living. I'm living.
That's
I'm
beautiful.
happy. I'm really
That's
happy.
beautiful.
I always say, and people like, nah, babes, we're still following money. When you follow your passion, and money will come, guys. I always say you can do other things, like you can invest, you can have side hustles.
Yeah.
Money can come in other ways, but when you choose your passion,
Yeah.
I can't. It makes me happy. Makes me happy.
Khodani, thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for coming onto this podcast.
Thank you for having
and
me.
sharing your elaborate and colorful life with
Thank
us.
you.
Journey, rather.
Thank you.
And wishing you the best, because really life does not end at 35.
Yeah,
There's still more.
hey, guys, we are young. We are young.
Ne?
In our 30s, we are very young. Old is there by the 70s.
Yes. To the viewers at home, in your car, wherever you are, thank you so much for watching and for listening. Please do comment, please do subscribe, please do like, and listen in on Spotify and Apple Podcast. Until next week, see you then. Bye.